Zika and pregnancy. What is Zika and why is it a concern during pregnancy? Zika is a virus that is spread primarily by certain kinds of mosquitoes. The virus can cause birth defects, such as microcephaly, in babies whose mothers were infected during pregnancy. Fortunately, though the news often sounds scary, Zika is not being spread by mosquitoes in most parts of the United States, so the risk of getting the virus is extremely low. Does Zika cause microcephaly or other birth defects? It can. While most babies born to pregnant women who get Zika appear to be healthy, some are born with microcephaly or other health problems, and some may develop problems later. Microcephaly is a serious birth defect in which the brain doesn't develop properly. Depending on the severity of the condition, microcephaly can lead to a number of problems, such as seizures and delayed development. Some babies infected with Zika before birth have been found to have other birth defects such as missing brain structures, vision and hearing defects, or poor growth. Experts don't know how likely your baby is to have birth defects if you get Zika during pregnancy. They also don't know whether you're at higher risk if you get infected during a particular trimester. How do you catch Zika? Here's how people can become infected with Zika: through a bite from certain mosquitoes. There are two types of mosquitoes that can carry the Zika virus. If you live in or travel to a place where these mosquitoes live primarily in the tropics and subtropics, you can get Zika if you are bitten by one. This is how most people get Zika. Check the CDC's map of countries where people are getting Zika from mosquitoes. Through sex. Men and women with Zika can't transmit it to their sexual partners. Learn how to protect yourself from Zika during sex. When it's passed from mother to child. Pregnant women with Zika can't transmit the virus to their unborn babies. So far, there are no reports of babies getting Zika through breastfeeding. Through a blood transfusion. No one has become infected with Zika through a blood transfusion in the United States. But because it's a risk, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration (FDA) has called for blood collection centers to screen all blood for the Zika virus. Can you get Zika in the United States? Yes. But right now the risk of getting Zika in the U.S. states is very low. As of April 12, 2017, the CDC reports that among people living in the states, 224 people have gotten Zika from mosquitoes, mostly in the Miami area and a few cases in southern Texas. 5,381 people have gotten Zika while traveling to other countries. 46 people have gotten Zika by having sex with an infected partner. In the U.S. territories including Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and American Samoa, the toll is much higher. More than 37,000 people have gotten Zika, primarily from mosquitoes. How can I protect myself from Zika during pregnancy? The best way to protect yourself while you're pregnant is to not travel to any area where the virus is transmitted by mosquitoes. And use a condom or don't have sex with anyone who has traveled to an area where Zika virus is transmitted by mosquitoes. If your partner must travel to one of these areas, the two of you will need to abstain from sexual activity including vaginal sex, anal sex, and fallopian or use condoms during these activities for the rest of your pregnancy. To be effective, condoms must be used correctly. This link contains graphic images from start to finish, every time you have sex. How can I avoid mosquito bites if I have to travel to an area with Zika? If you or your partner must travel to an area with Zika, talk to your healthcare provider first and strictly follow steps to protect yourself from mosquito bites during your trip. Use insect repellent and reapply when necessary. See our article on insect repellents that are safe during pregnancy. Wear long sleeves and pants. Stay in places that have air conditioning or have screens on windows and doors. The CDC now recommends that everyone who travels to an area with Zika continue to avoid mosquito bites for 3 weeks after they return home. Even if you don't feel sick, you may have the virus, and if you get bitten, the mosquito can bite others and spread Zika to your family and neighbors. Do I need to avoid Zika if I'm trying to get pregnant? Yes. The CDC recommends not traveling to areas where Zika is spread by mosquitoes if you're trying to conceive. If there's a chance that you or your partner has been exposed to Zika, health authorities recommend that you wait before trying to conceive, either by using condoms or by not having sex. See our article on how long to delay pregnancy if you may have been exposed to Zika. What are the symptoms of Zika? Most people who contract Zika have no symptoms. If you do have symptoms, they're likely to include a rash, fever, joint pain, and pink eye conjunctivitis. Less common are muscle pain, headache, pain behind the eyes, and vomiting. Symptoms tend to last up to a week. 2 other mosquito-borne viruses, dengue fever and chikungunya, can cause similar symptoms. Experts are also investigating whether Zika can trigger Guillain-Barré syndrome, the rare disorder that causes muscle weakness which usually goes away within a few months. So far, only a small number of people with Zika have gotten GBS. Can I get tested for Zika? At this time, the CDC is recommending testing if you've been exposed to Zika through travel or sex and you develop symptoms of Zika rash, fever, joint pain, or pink eye. You may also be offered testing during pregnancy if you live in or travel frequently to an area where Zika is being transmitted by mosquitoes. Getting tested can be complicated and expensive. If you qualify, your doctor may take a blood or urine sample and send it to a state or federal lab. Your sample may need to be tested in 3 different ways to determine whether you have been exposed to Zika. Getting final results can take weeks. How long does it take Zika to clear from your body? No one knows, but health authorities believe the virus will be gone from your body within 6 months after you're first infected. Zika is not thought to pose a risk for birth defects in future pregnancies after the virus has cleared from your body. And once you've been infected with Zika, you're likely to have immunity from the virus, which means you can't be infected again. But researchers are not sure how long the immunity will last. What's the treatment for Zika? There is no medicine for Zika. If you're diagnosed with Zika during pregnancy, your healthcare provider will probably order extra ultrasounds to check on your baby's development. Your provider may suggest treating your symptoms in these ways. Get plenty of rest. Drink lots of water to avoid dehydration. Take acetaminophen to relieve fever and pain. Don't take NSAIDs like ibuprofen or aspirin. Is there a vaccine for Zika? There's no vaccine to prevent Zika. Scientists at the National Institutes of Health are working to create one, but it's likely to be years before a Zika vaccine is available.